I want to shift gears a little bit and move into more of your personal life, what led you to pharmacy, how you grew up, that sort of thing. So.
Sure. Well, I came from a pharmacy family.
Okay.
My parents met in pharmacy school at Loyola University in New Orleans in the 1940s. Now, Loyola closed its pharmacy school in the 60s, but my parents met there. And my father, though, had retinitis pigmentosa, which was an eye disease, and he became, blind a little bit later. And never, in my lifetime, I can't really remember him working as a pharmacist, but my mother ended up working as a hospital pharmacist. Both of my grandfathers were pharmacists. My father's father in Texas, I never really knew, but he had a drugstore in Texas. And my mother's father in Louisiana, in New Orleans, worked both in the hospital and in retail. In fact, my mother and her father were two of the original members of the ASHP.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, I think it was in 1975, the ASHP sent all of those original members a plaque to honor them. And I can remember both of them receiving a plaque, but Hurricane Katrina kind of took all those away. They're not around. But I can remember my grandfather in New Orleans telling me about some of his experiences. When he worked, he owned a drugstore in New Orleans back in the 1920s and 30s. And my mother would tell me that when he bought the pharmacy, there was one section in the pharmacy, and it seemed like the products in that section always sold. So he kept stocking it. And a lot of the other pharmacists in the city didn't like the fact that he had that section. My mother said that section basically contained things related to voodoo, like candles and things like that.
Yeah.
And people would come in to buy that.
Yeah.
And but he also worked as a pharmacist in what was called the Old French Hospital in New Orleans. And I can remember him telling me that when it was slow, the doctors would come down and ask him to help do autopsies.
Wow.
And he said, yeah, they use kite string to help with that. But he had a lot of different experiences like that. And also, he helped start a baseball league for the pharmacists in New Orleans. So I think this went on maybe in the 1940s or thereabouts, but I saw a newspaper article about it. And all the pharmacies, or several of them, they'd meet like at 5:30 in the morning and have a baseball game. They'd have two teams that would play each other, probably, every game.
Yeah.
And then at the end of their season, they'd have a World Series, and it's the same two teams playing each other. And the team that lost would have to buy like dinner. They'd go out and have a big dinner. But it was the same people playing each other all the time.
Yeah.
But it was, they'd go out to City Park early in the morning before work and play.
Thanks for watching this short clip from our Pharmacy IR podcast. To watch the full interview, you can check it out on our YouTube channel.
And to make sure you don't miss anything, sign up for notifications on our Facebook page and like and subscribe anywhere that this podcast is offered.